It's Ash from Super Videos back for another video for The Last of Us on HBO. On this video, we're going to be taking a look at something that was teased about the season 1 finale and the idea that it will divide fans. So I'm going to explain what I think that means and how that's going to impact the story potentially, not just for the finale, but also for season 2 of the show. So stay tuned. We'll be right back to break it down. Alright, as always, before we dive into it, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's get into it. One thing I do want to say though, spoiler alert for those of you who have not played the game and want to go into the TV adaptation fresh, because I will go through some details about not just the ending of part 1 of the game, but also some of the story from part 2. So if you don't want to know anything, this is the time to click out because I will be going through details that will spoil things for you. With that said, let's jump right into it. So of course, we have had very limited scenes related to the finale so far. They did tease it a little bit in one of the trailers that they had for the weeks ahead preview, but I think the idea of the finale dividing fans is going to relate directly to the events that are going to take place at the FireFlies lab or the hospital. That part of the story, which obviously also divided fans heavily in the game itself. But going back to the previews I was talking about, we have seen some scenes in the previews showing us Joel in some sort of a hospital setting where we actually see him with a rifle ready to shoot down anyone he comes across in order to obviously save Ellie. Now, when it comes to how the finale episode is going to divide fans, one thing I do want to say is that it was actually the actress who plays Ellie, Bella Ramsay, who said this in an interview. So that's who it came from. I take that in three ways. I think that the finale is going to divide fans in three distinct ways. The first is Joel himself. I think, especially in the TV show, we've seen a softer version of Joel and one that, at least from the time that we met him after the time jump, hasn't really been that violent and that savage like he was in the game. But I think the savage, brutal, violent Joel is gonna come out finally in the final episode. And I think that that might be one of the things that divides fans, is just to see a Joel that's much, much different than the Joel that we saw initially. One that's way more violent and uses strategies that are more violent and more brutal. The second possible route for it to divide fans is something that was very apparent in the game. It was more apparent, or became more apparent, in part 2, but it has to do with the scene with the doctor who was going to operate on Ellie. And this obviously relates to the scene where Joel kills the doctor to save Ellie, which was obviously the main plot line of part 2, the idea of the doctor's daughter coming back to take revenge, and obviously, spoiler alert, taking revenge for what Joel did. So I think that that would be the second way that the story could go, or the second way that the story could divide fans. And obviously, the third way relates to Marlene. We know exactly what happens between Marlene and Joel. We know that Joel doesn't really give Marlene the benefit of the doubt. There's no forgiving on Joel's part when it comes to dealing with the Marlene situation at the end. So I think that these three ways are ways that the plot will potentially divide fans. And to be honest, I think we're going to see all of those three things come together. And it's going to be the combination of all of those three things that are going to really divide fans. More so in the TV show, I think, than the video game. But with that said, that's pretty much everything I wanted to go through in this video. I'm definitely intrigued to know your thoughts and opinions about this. What are some ways you think that the finale of season 1 is going to divide fans? Do you agree that it's going to be all of these three things and a combination of these three things? Or do you think there's going to be other things that Bella Ramsay who obviously plays Ellie, was referring to that I didn't really touch on in this video. So let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed this. Smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.